Good morning. This is Liz Cotter with Cotter Law, and I wanted to talk to everybody a little bit about an electronic closing in Massachusetts. Primarily because I've heard so many different comments about, oh, it's just an electronic closing and it's easy and it's quick. And I wanted to let everyone know that those of us who have continued to do real estate transactions over the last month have learned a lot and experienced a lot, and I wanted to share that with you. So first of all, I want to put an end to some misinformation out there. Massachusetts is working on it. However, currently we do not allow electronic, or also known as virtual, notarizations. So no FaceTime, no Zoom meeting, none of that can be happening for notarizing documents with a wet signature. And frankly, even if they did, our Registry of Deeds does not allow recording of signatures that are not real signatures, or wet signatures as they're called. So for any transaction, whether it's cash or financed or otherwise, anything that gets recorded at the Registry of Deeds still has to be a real wet signature with a notary. So that's presented some challenges along the way for obvious reasons. When we have a cash purchase, yes, the buyer's side can sign their documents online via DocuSign or some other format, but we still need a real deed signature from the seller's side. So keep in mind that for any transactions where a deed is getting recorded, even if the buyer is using cash to purchase it, the seller will still need to find a notary. And keep in mind, there's many people and entities in a real estate transaction that determine part of our process. So we have title insurance companies, we have the Registry of Deeds, we still have our ethical obligations as attorneys, we still have requirements that we have to meet as far as notaries. So there are a lot of hands in the transaction, and not everyone is on the same page yet as far as changes to the process. So on that note, financed purchases are also interesting because each lender is doing it differently. I would say 9 out of 10 that I work with have what we call a hybrid process. They're allowing the ancillary documents that do not require a notary to be signed online. Some have their own platforms, some have us set it up through DocuSign. So there are fewer documents that need to be signed in person. But every borrower on a loan, whether it's a refinance or a purchase transaction, should know that they will have to come sign some documents in person. There is no way around that presently, period. So what we've been working on as far as that is basically printing out the documents that need a wet signature in front of a notary. We have a shelf system outside of our office. The borrower comes, picks it up, signs everything, holds their license up to our glass door, we smile at each other, and we notarize their documents, and that's how we're having to do it. It's uncomfortable for me in that I like the purchase part of a transaction. I like meeting the buyers, and it's supposed to be an exciting and happy and friendly event most of the time. So it does, there is a lack of personal level on this in our new normal, but it is what it is for now. So that's how it works. So my point here is to our realtor friends and partners, make sure you're setting up reasonable expectations for your buyer. It's not quicker because it's electronic. It's actually 10 times as much work on our side to set up. Some of it is electronic, some of it not. Arrange for funds to get to us. And then there's the recording part. Some more misinformation out there is basically that I record online. That's not exactly what it is. What it is the Registry of Deeds have a system set up where we basically scan them, our documents, and warrant that we're in possession of the originals, and ask them to record the deed, etc., mortgage, whatever, at the registry. But there's still humans involved in the process on their end. So think of it more as me emailing them the documents. They still get the same level of scrutiny from the person on the other end, and then they record them. But if there are issues or changes that need to be made, they email them back to us, we correct the documents, we resend it to them, it goes back in queue and waits to get recorded. So it's not faster. We could normally make a quick change if we were standing at the recording desk and hand it back to the recorder. Here it's a back and forth with email and uploading and this and that, as we all know, can be cumbersome. So My point is, we are getting business done, we're getting closings done. We are doing them without contact, we're doing them safely, but I need buyers and sellers to understand notaries are still required. Some in-person stuff still needs to happen, and it's not faster. I've had refinances and purchases take the better part of a whole day because by the time everything's signed and uploaded and getting recorded just takes longer. So be mindful of that when you're setting up Comcast and movers and everyone else who has a part in the process. You know, we're getting it done. First and foremost, we're making sure everyone's safe, but I do want to make sure everyone knows what the process looks like. I think most closing attorneys are doing it this way, and there may be changes with, you know, technology and statutes and this and that may someday allow that sort of remote notarizing, but we don't have it yet. So if anyone has any questions, you can always reach out to Rebecca or myself at Cotter Law. We're happy to answer any questions. We are happy to get this done. You know, we still love our job, even though it's changed a little, and it's certainly more stressful. If I look a little worn out, I am. But that's from trying to keep everybody on schedule and make sure we're doing everything correctly, even if differently. So we thank you very much for your business. We hope everyone's staying safe out there, and we do hope that it will be over soon. But until then, stay home. Thanks.